Crypto fans, I got some juicy HBAR news for you. We'll talk price action of HBAR, XRP, and some of our favorites. We're also going to talk about unlocks creating some negative price action. Franklin Templeton is spreading their BENJI token around. Yeah, you've heard that before on the Stellar chain. We'll also talk about
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
and for real, by now I think these crypto companies have to learn that the old way of doing stuff just isn't going to work anymore. The market and us, we're all maturing and we're not going to take it. You'll see what I'm talking about here soon enough. Now, before we get into the juicy crypto news, HBAR fans, this is hot AF. You know the deal. Your comments come first. Why? Because you, the viewer, matter most. That's why I'm in a layover in Miami, bringing you the news. TM Archive says, I heard that not only are you paid by the government, but that you're responsible for the Epstein files not being released. Well, I'm also the person behind the JFK files as well. Yeah, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's a comment from an earlier video today. Some people are just dumb as fuck. Doran Butler says, OMG, LOL. When are you going to start shilling U.S. Treasury bonds? All this time you've been holding out on us. Yeah, I guess apparently I work for the United States government, even though the majority of my videos talk about how much I hate the damn government and how they don't do jack crap. Texas Sweet Tea says, you work for the government, but steadily call the government out on their BS. Okay, what the hell? Girl, exactly. That's what I'm thinking about. I think some people that just comment, they're just keyboard warriors. They don't watch the videos and they just gabble stuff out. Want to do some heat map? Ah, screw it. Let's just get right in the news. Okay, Pi token under pressure as supply rises, but the core team stays confident. Pi is down over 85% from its all-time high a few months ago. Well, here's some reasons, okay? I want you to think about crypto maybe 3-4 years ago. Remember when everyone was doing airdrops, right? We were like, oh yeah, we'll do airdrop. And then we learned that what happens with airdrops, as soon as people get them, they dump them, right? Doesn't matter if it's free or not. It happens. In fact, we saw a recent project do an airdrop and people are like, dude, this is stupid. They just dumped all their stuff. Yeah. So now you're seeing that crypto has evolved. The previous way of doing it just doesn't work anymore. Notably, Pi established a double bottom pattern around the 40-cent level, which the team identifies as a potential demand region. However, analysts are less enthusiastic with the blockchain's token's bullish potential, as the Pi team referenced a prediction that an upcoming token unlock could drive the price down by another 30%, where 276 million Pi tokens would be what? Dumped on the market. That's 3.7% of the circulating supply. The other problem that people are looking through is the marketing BS. There was a lot of Pi stuff attached to Stellar XLM. And what did we learn? It was all BS, right? They would be in the comments, and we learned that this way of doing stuff just isn't going to work anymore. You don't believe me? You want proof? Here's a chart for you. Yeah. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. So, for real, companies out there, especially new crypto companies, can't keep running the same playbook that was run years ago because guess what people do? Pump and dump, and they dump all the what everyone. Yeah, the airdropped action. All right, HBAR fans, here you go. Oh, yeah, by the way, all the links you're seeing in this video and the articles, it's all linked in the description below. Yeah, down there. Oh, Robinhood. HBAR is now available to trade on the Robinhood crypto action. Ooh. Okay. Now, here's the cool thing about this. This post is only an hour and like 15 minutes old, and it already has 83,000 views. That's right. I'm bringing you the breaking news. So for Frankie and others out there that are big HBAR fans, what do you think? Is Robinhood going to bring some juice to the market? Is it going to help out price-wise? Now, that being said, what have we noticed with HBAR price this morning? Well, let me show you. Here you go. I'm going to bring up the screen and you're going to see, yep, the news. Right now, what happened, right? Pumperoni, dumperoni, right? Buy the rumor, sell the news. And that's what I've been telling everyone is the crypto market kind of runs that same thing. So you saw a big oomph on the announcement right here. Bam, there you go. And then what happens? Some profit taken. Now, that being said, I got to be honest with you. This isn't over yet. Why? Because honestly, Robinhood listing HBAR is a big deal. A lot of people out there have said that HBAR is one of them that they wish would have more support on exchanges, right? And I totally agree with you. So now HBAR, check out the volume, 762 million overall, looking pretty strong. Zoom out to the 1 month, and what do you notice? Okay, maybe we're going to get some support north of what, everyone? That 20 cent mark. That's after the most recent action. But look, what's happening with HBAR, what's happening with XRP price is all very similar. Check this out. This is the 1 month for XRP. This is the 1 month for HBAR. Look pretty similar, doesn't it? Zoom out a little bit here, and what are you noticing? Yeah, maybe we're starting to claw our way back. That's important. And what's going to help us? Robinhood listing. So, HBAR fans, good news for you today. Franklin Templeton brings the BENJI platform to VeChain for tokenized treasury access. And I know a lot of you out there are like, bro, Franklin Templeton BENJI, why does that sound so familiar? Because they launched it on the Stellar chain. And a lot of players in Stellar were like, oh, Franklin Templeton this, Franklin Templeton that. Listen, Franklin Templeton does not give a about your chain. What they care about is making money. So whether they launch on Stellar, whether they launch on VeChain, whether they launch on Ask Crack McGee, guess what? These companies are going to do it. None of these companies, all right, that I share you the news with, none of these companies out there are exclusive to anyone. They really just care about spreading their token to their partners and their players, right? The availability of it. So again, when you look at these articles, when you zoom out on the news, remember these partnerships, most of the time they're big nothing burgers. Franklin Templeton brings BENJI platform to VeChain for tokenized treasury access. Franklin Templeton is expanding its footprint in the tokenized finance sector by integrating its BENJI platform with VeChain. The other problem is BENJI is not available to the public. Yeah, I know, so that kind of sucks. A layer 1 blockchain known for its dual tokenomics model. The VeChain integration will enable users worldwide to purchase and hold tokenized U.S. Treasury bills on the blockchain while providing regulated custody and liquidity support. Ooh. For context, BENJI platform provides tokenized access to the on-chain government money fund, FOBXX, a regulated U.S. money market fund backed by primarily government securities, cash, and repurchase agreements. Each BENJI token represents a share in the fund, which aims to maintain a stable $1 value. So again, would you really want the BENJI token if it's going to be stable at $1? Probably not. But again, for these companies out there that like to tokenize their stuff, what is it all about? Them making money. So Franklin Templeton, they'll pimp themselves out to whoever. Yeah, we've seen that plenty of times in the crypto world. Okay, more interesting news for you. U.S. crypto compliance firms to help shape the law under the Treasury Task Force. Okay, this is an interesting one here because I think what we're seeing a bunch of like task force out there. We're seeing the Senate's doing their own market structure bill, right? The House had the Clarity one. They had the U.S. White House crypto task force. A whole bunch of them. Listen to this one. The U.S. House of Representatives has passed the Financial Technology Protection Act by voice vote. The bipartisan bill, sponsored by Representative Zach Nunn, would establish an independent financial technology working group to combat terrorism and illicit financing. The working group is tasked with researching the use of digital assets by terrorists and other illicit actors. Blah, 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 blah. Look, what do we really care about? We care about frickin' reg aronies, right? We care about the Clarity Act. And you know what pisses me off? Yeah, it's been like a week and the Senate still hasn't said jack shit Ola about the Clarity Act. But remember, though, as I stated earlier, the Senate has their own market structure bill. So you got to think about this. Is the Senate going to want to pump the House's version? Or are they going to want to pump their own version and make themselves look better? The Secretary of the Treasury may also appoint additional individuals as necessary to accomplish the duties as described. According to the legislative text, the working group must submit an annual report to Congress for 3 years, including the findings, determinations made by the working group. Again, I think this is all just like jerking off from the government. Oh, yeah, I forgot. I'm paid by the government, so I can't talk negative about them. Screw that. The government sucks. And to be honest with you, this here is just another example of instead of the governments working together, they're working what's known as the missile silo principle, okay? Where everyone's in their own silos doing their own things. So instead of working together, they're all kind of working separately towards the same end goal. Yeah, what a waste of resources. But I forgot I pimped the United States government. God, some people are stupid. Overall crypto market looking healthy volume wise. Fear and greed index is hanging out at 66. Institutional money is still looking juicy. Recently, ETH has been making the move, but BTC is also making the action. XRP is holding on to support while maintaining strong volume. This is something I want to share with you, okay? I'm going to zoom out to the 1 year, and here is why. Okay, let me just fix my monitor so I can see this a little bit better. All right, look at the volume levels. Before the November election, volume was anywhere from like 1 to 2 billion on average for XRP. We're sitting at 9.4. Yeah, isn't that crazy? Now, when things were bonkers in December and January, volume 51 billion, 13 billion, 21 billion, 43 billion, 16 billion, 20 billion. You get my point. Things were nuts. But look at this, though. Even though the volume is a little bit less right now, and we've recently had a volume pump, the price is better. So what are we noticing? There's more demand for XRP, even though the hysteria has worn away. The demand for XRP will increase as what? As we get a market structure bill. So whether it's the Senate's version of the Clarity Act, either of those will big time help out XRP. You know those posts out there where you see the stupid thing where it's like, oh, when XRP is 50 cents, no one wants it, but when it's like $10, everyone wants it. Isn't that kind of like the same thing that's happening with Bitcoin? I mean, think about that, right? If you look at Bitcoin and what Saylor does with BTC, that's kind of exactly what's going on right now, right? I mean, think about it. Saylor and all of his buying was really kind of slow. And you've seen what? More volume in BTC as the price has gotten higher. So remember, I just shared with you the XRP volume. Check this out. So look at BTC volume in 2019. 10 billion, 11 billion, 6 billion, 24 billion, 23 billion. What about the volume now? 100 billion, 123 billion, 110 billion, 50 billion, 51 billion. Yeah. So you see what I'm saying? As something is going up in price, more people want it. It makes sense, doesn't it? Because that's kind of like, what are people looking for? They're looking for stability. They're looking for floor. They're looking to see if institutions are buying it. So with XRP, we have to look at that same principle and think, okay, as XRP goes up in price, more people are going to feel comfortable with it, right? As we develop the floor, more players are going to be like, oh, okay, so my risk is less. So think the volume action that we've got since the November election, a lot of players out there felt comfortable with XRP $2 floor. We also noticed that what? We had a whole bunch of companies now adding XRP to their books. There was, I believe it was 8 companies. I just reported on a ninth one a few days ago. So now you've got even more companies. And those 8 companies, they all basically said what? Well, now that XRP is more legit, now that we're getting more regs, we want to get in on it. Now that the price is more stable, now that the price is going up, they want to get in on it. So as XRP price increases, as the floor increases, you're going to see what everyone more demand because it proves the legitimacy of an asset. So definitely some good news for HBAR fans out there as Robinhood is doing a little bit of listing action. But let me ask you this. Is there a crypto you're into now that you wish would be listed on a major exchange? I know HBAR was in one, Quant was another big one out there that people want to see listed, but what would you like to see listed on a major exchange? Now, that being said, will price action follow? Well, we're going to find out here soon because you saw on the announcement, you had a little what? Pumperoni and then what, everyone? Dumperoni. Why? Because the market takes profits. Look at Picoin. That's all that you've seen. Every time there's a token unlock, what are people doing? Well, I got this shit for free, so I'm going to what? Sell-a-roni it. Yeah. Anyone now in crypto that's doing a new launch or a pre-sale or anything like that, the tokenomics are going to have to be different. They're going to have to do something different because the airdrops have shown us what? That every time they do the airdrops, it exactly. So players come up with something new to keep us interested. Speaking of interest, XRP interest is growing with the price. And what are we noticing? We're developing more floors. Think about this, okay? A year ago, just rewind 1 year ago. XRP's floor was like 30 to 50 cents. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And what was the interest? I shared with you, it was like 1 to 2 billion in volume a day. And don't get me wrong, that was healthy, right? XRP was still a top 10 asset, one of the most popular ones out there in socials. But now look at it. Now we're talking about 4, 8, 10, 15 billion dollar days. Like it's nothing. And that's because more people are feeling comfortable with the asset. So as the floor grows, so does interest, so does volume, and so does juicy action. And in crypto, what is all about? It's all about trust, right? We talked about that with stable coins. We talked about that with crypto assets. The more trust you have, the more people feel comfortable putting money in. When an asset is super volatile and it has some problems price wise, the volume goes down. Good example for you, okay? What I'm going to do is give me a second. I'm going to open this up. Picoin's volume. You want to know what that thing is right now? 56 million. Yeah, you heard me right. 56 million. HBAR's volume right now, let's take a look. Yeah, 760 million. XRP's 9.4 billion. So you see my point here, right? As the floor goes up, so does trust, so does juicy price action. Now, I got to head to the airport. I'm going to see if I can schedule an earlier flight because my flight is scheduled for later today. I'm going to see if there were some cancellations. Maybe I can get home and hang out with my wife because I haven't seen my wife in like 2 weeks now. And you're like, but bro, you've only been gone for like 9 days. How'd you not see your wife for 2 weeks? Well, because my wife was in Chicago going for the White Sox weekend. Then what happened was her flight was canceled. I saw her at the airport that I was flying out at for less than 5 minutes because I had to catch my flight. Yeah, our paths literally crossed at the airport. So it's been like 2 weeks since I've seen my wife, which really sucks. Like 9 days since I've seen my dogs, 9 days since I've seen my kids. So yeah, kind of itching to go home. Probably won't be doing another video today because I'm going to be stuck in the airport. Unless you want me doing like cringe YouTube crypto reporting in the airport. That'd be a little weird, but I'll see what happens. Either way, I will catch you all hopefully tomorrow. Hopefully in the normal studio because holy crap, as much as I like hotels and as much as I like traveling, I would like to get home and have a little fun with the wife. See that? That's not something stuck in my eye. That was me winking. Choo choo what? Choo choo bitches.